Well, good morning, everybody. It's Francine here this morning, and I've been getting a lot of questions on how to wire the preserved flowers that I've got. So I'm actually going to show you how to do some wiring. Good morning, Sue. It's lovely to see you. So just bear with me while I just change the camera. So I'm going to show you how to wire carnations and roses that are preserved, and how they arrive, and how you treat them, and how you look after them. Now, preserved roses have gone through a treatment of where they've been totally bleached, completely white. All the colour has been taken out of them, and it also dries them out. And then they rehydrate them up by using glycerine, but also they use like a fabric softener, and it softens the petals. So when you get the flowers, they're really soft and supple, and like this carnation, I can open it up and treat it like a normal carnation. And the beauty about these is they last a very long time. And when we're doing competition work or design work, and we want to be able to add a few flowers into our design, and we can't get what we're wanting, these are a really good thing to just be able to have on hand to be able to use for that. So anyway, I'm just going to show you. I've been getting a few questions. Good morning. Hi, Judy. Lovely to see you. So I thought I'd just show you how they work. Now I'm going to pull the camera down so you can actually see me doing this, and then I'll show you a couple of designs that I've completed. So I'm just going to move the camera down, so just bear with me while I get myself a bit sorted this morning. And take you down onto my bench. Just takes a little bit of manoeuvring, and that way you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to talk with my hands today, which is a bit of a shock for me. So anyway, I talk with my hands. So these here are the carnations, and this is how they come. Now these are the white ones, but normally when they arrive in a box like this. So they are a real flower. It's just the treatment and how they've been treated to make them last, and they last for a very long time. Good morning, Valerie. Lovely to see you. And they last for a really long time. And as a judge, we were working out, now how can we judge these? Well, they're judged as a preserved flower. So that's fine to be able to use in your designing, unless it states in the schedule otherwise. So when they come in, you take them out of the box. So they have like a little cardboard surround like this. Then they're all individually packed. And if you look underneath here, they've all got the little stems coming through. Now, these have all been waxed at the bottom, and they've got a pin through them. And the beauty about these is you take that pin out, and you can pop the flower out, like so. Just gently pop it out. And then you've got your flower. And the idea with that pin, where that pin has come out, I don't know if you can see there, there's a little hole just right at the base there. That is where you're going to put your wire through. Hello, Ngania, it's really nice to see you, and Brenda, and so that's where you're going to put your wire through. Now, a lot of it depends on the gauges of wire, depending on what you're wanting to do with it. I actually quite prefer to use the 22 gauge when I'm doing smaller things, and I don't need the length of the wire. So this is a 22 gauge wire, but if I'm doing something where I want the flower to be a little bit longer and to really hold up, I'll actually use the 22 gauge, the 20 gauge. If I'm wanting it really strong, I'll do a double wiring, and I'll show you how to do that. The thing is with the preserved flowers that you don't put them in water, but you can put them in amongst fresh plant material and tuck them in. As long as you don't spray them, they're fine. So anyway, so I'll show you how to do the bit of the wiring to start with. I thought white would probably be easiest to show you. Well, maybe not. I just pulled that mauve out. Well, let's do the mauve. And as you can see, they're soft and they're supple and they last. And then you just, when I get my carnations, you know, you gently pull the petals down and open it up so it opens it right out. Then you get your wire. Now, I've cut these wires in half, so they're half the length. Go through where the pinhole was and gently push that through, just like that. Bring the legs down, and then you've got it wired like that, and then you're going to get your stem text. I prefer to use stem text to parafilm. It's the paper wire, that's paper tape that's got the wax coating on it. And then starting here, right around at the top of the wiring, just above where you've wired, go around twice, and just take your time with this. Don't rush it. It's sticky, so it sticks onto itself, and then slowly pull it down and then start turning it. I don't know if you can see me turning that. Just gently, and I'm twisting the flower, not the tape. And I pull the tape down on an angle so it feeds down nicely, just like this. And that is how you wire a carnation. Now this wiring I'd probably use if I'm doing a design that's short or making a boutonniere. buttonhole, corsage, whatever you want to do, and you need that bit of just that short wiring, and then you can just open it up. It's just rather gorgeous to work with. Hi Beryl, so that's how you would wire the shorter one. Now if you're wanting to do something and you want to use this in a bigger design and you think, oh, I need the length, but I need the strength of the stem, and of course we're putting artificial stems on. That's what wiring is, it's an artificial stem. So we've got another pinhole here, but I've got a big pin here, a hat pin that I use, and I'm just going to poke another little hole in here. It's better to do it with a bigger pin than actually try and just push the wire through. Then you have less risk of actually breaking it. So just popping it through like so, well, took the top off, but anyway, that's not off the flower, it's off the pin. So pop that back in there. So now I've got 2 pinholes. So I'm going to get my wire, and I'm going to find just where I did that, because now I can't see the hole. So find out where I put it. Oh, gosh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, there's one there. Put that one in there and pull that wire down. Then I'm going to get the other one, and I'm going to put it, I think the hole's there. Should have actually checked it before I did that. There we go. Put the other one in through there. So I'm crossing the wires over. So I've got one coming that way, and I've got a cross, and then I've come just slightly above the other wire. So I've got one here, and I'll come slightly above it. Be very careful when you do this that you don't break that little stem. Bring the wires to the joint like this. Now this is going to be really, really strong, really, really going to hold up. If by chance, I'll show you what will happen if a couple of questions. I've broken the little stem front seam. What do I do? So I'll show you how to do that one, but I'll finish wiring this again, pulling it down on the angle, twisting all those wires together. Now we've got a really strong stem that'll hold up. So that's a really good way of doing it. Just tidy up the bottom, and that's going to hold up really, really well in your designing. Again, just open up your carnation, nice and gentle. Just open up. It looks like I'm being rough, but I'm actually being a hairdresser. You know how to look rough, but you're not. So I've got those here. Now I'm going to actually break one. I'm going to show you how to wire one if you break it. So say this here comes off and you think, oh no, I've broken it. Now what am I going to do? It's no good. Okay, so get your wire, and you're just going to come a bit further up. Take the wire through, bring it down, and we're going to make an artificial stem here. We're going to do another cross, come through. Oops, sorry. Another cross through. Now my wire's got a bit wonky. Bring it down. Make an artificial stem. And now we're going to tape above that wire just to hold all the wire into place. It can be a bit tricky going around that, but that's okay. Take your time and just tape over itself. Come all the way down, and now you've fixed that little problem. So for those of you that have actually broken that off, don't worry, that's how you do it. Do a double crossover and take your tape a little bit higher up. Take your time when you're taping so that you're not going to, some people try to do it too fast. Just take your time. And the beauty about using the Stemtex tape is it's sticky, it's tacky, so it'll stick on top of itself. So that's how we're going to do the carnations. Now what about the roses? Well, I've got the lovely David Austin's. David Austin's are very expensive roses to buy fresh. So I've been using these for my wedding bouquets. They're absolutely beautiful. So, or just even in my designing, because I love David Austin roses. So again, pop it out like you did before. Aren't they just beautiful? And you're thinking, oh, well, that's a bit tight, but then you can just carefully fold it open. Just carefully fold those petals back, and you end up with this most beautiful open one. So now the same procedure applies with wiring. Again, it's got the holes. This one has actually got double holes, so we can go that way, and they've already got the other holes in place, but they're right in line with that, so I don't particularly like that. So I'm going to come a little bit higher up and just carefully pop that through. Now these have been waxed, so you just have to take your time when you're pushing the pin through. Just take your time. Don't do it in a hurry where you risk breaking the stem. Pop it in, doing the crossover. One down, the other one down. This is if you're wanting the height for your design, for a big design. If you're only wanting to do a small boutonniere or a small design, then you only have to do the single wiring. So go round, just take that down. Tape it up. Let's wind it, twisting. Remember, twisting this part, not the tape. Hold the tape on a slight angle and twist the stem down. And then you've ended up now with a lovely David Austin that's been wired. Now some of the bigger roses come in. I'll just put these all to the side here. Pop that over there. Some of the bigger roses, these are more like the Colombian. These are really, really big. They come in their own individual little pot. And when you see them in the pot, see the pin in the bottom there? So I love using these ones as well. And I make the composite roses out of these as well. These are the ones that I use where a little while ago I showed you actually how to do a composite rose by dissecting one of the roses, carefully saving the petals and then gluing them all up. So on this one here, they're a bit easier to actually wire because of the size, but I tend to go to a slightly heavier gauge wire because I want to do these for a bit of length. So I'm going to just take the wire through that little hole. Whoops. Take that through the little hole there. Taking it through the hole. Bring the wire down, and because I'm using a heavier gauge, this is a 20 gauge wire, I don't need to do a double wiring on this. And then taking the tape right up to the neck and wiring it down. Wire it tape it all the way down, take it all the way down. Just going to pull that off there. And now I've got a fully wired single red rose. And then to open these, I'll get the petals and I'll just pull them open. So I put my finger in here just to support it. The boys are just in the workshop there, so sorry about the noise. They're just opening up the big door. And then you can open that rose. So just gently fold the petals back onto your thumb. And then you end up with a beautifully opened rose that you can use. So that's how you do the roses. So I've got the carnations done here. Bring them back so you can see. I've got the carnations, I've got the rose, so I'll put that in there. Other things that I use, I'm just showing you things that I use because when we're designing or wanting to do our floral art and different bits and pieces, it's really hard sometimes to get some of the flowers. This is bleached Ming fern, so I've got some bleached Ming fern, so I'm just going to wire a little bit of this. So if I just pull a bit of that off, again I'm just going to get my 22 gauge wire, or you can use 24 on this one. I'm just going to make like a little hook. I'm going to lay that on there like that, and I'm just going to wrap my wire around twice, go down, and then I'm going to get my tape and I'm going to tape it over the top like this, tape it around, and then I might want to put a bit of Ming fern in with my rose and just soften that look, or I might want to put in with my carnation or whatever I'm using. I might want to, for contrast, I've got the bit of the Ming fern here with a beautiful rose. I may want to do that. Other things that you've got, there's so many different things that they're bringing in now, but I'm just showing lots of different options. So another one is I love to use this, and I've bought this in because I just adore using this. It's the Amaranthus. And I love using this in my designing. So this is a beautiful lime green one, and I can cut all these little pieces off and use them in my designing and just wiring them. So if I wanted to use that whole piece there, I would get my 22 gauge wire, I'd put it through the piece where I want to wire, or I can just bunch a little bunch together, do a little U-bend. Don't know if you can see the little U-bend, put the U-bend on the top and then go around. And now that's going to hold wherever I want to put it. And again, I would take that as well. Depends if you want a big piece or a little piece, whatever you're wanting to use. So I'll put this around here. And I thought what I'd do is I'll just show you now how to do the storage, how the best way is to store these. So now I can use that in my designing. It's all taped, ready to go. You know, put it with your red rose or whatever you're deciding you want to use. Wrap it around your rose, you know, just have a bit of fun. But I've done a design to show you how to use it in a design. So now I'm going to put those aside. I'm going to show you how I store them. Now the storage is the key part when you're wanting to reuse these over and over again. So what I've got here is a click-clack container. We call them the Systema containers. And I've got my container here, and I've got on the bottom here a piece of foam. And I've laid my flowers, my wired flowers, on a little bit of a bed of the foam. And then I would get the one that I've just wired now, this other red rose, and I would lay that right next to it. I don't know if you can see that laying in there like that. And just so they don't get damaged, I put another piece of foam on the top. These ones I haven't used, so they're still in their container, or they've got short wires on them, and I've tucked the wire in underneath so I can reuse them. and then I can get my other flowers and I'll just lay the next row. There's no crushing, there's no weight in these, so they're not going to damage. And it means when I'm doing something, I think, oh, I need a couple of flowers, I can just grab them out and pop them in my design. So I just lay them all in like that, put another piece of foam on, and then I stack them. But another really key part in here is you need silica gel. Now, in a lot of our different grocery items that we get the little packs of silica. Lay them in there, and then when you put it onto the container, put them into the container, put the silica gels in there, put the lid on, click it on, and then that there then is ready for, it's sealed, there's no moisture can get into them until you're ready to use them again. You've got them all laid out so you know what you're using. So that's how I store them. Now I thought I'd show you how I've done just a simple design. Well, I suppose it's simple. I was just having a bit of fun, really. I'll show you a design that I've made. Now I'll just pop the camera back up so you can see it, and I'll have to step back because it's quite big. It was just one that I was working with. So this here is making a bouquet by using the preserved flowers. I'll see if I can get that out. Carefully take that out. It takes a minute to get it out of the frame. Stands are great for doing my designs on. Put that to the side. And as you can see, this is just my bouquet frame. So I've got in here the David Austins, I've got the green carnations, I've got some green amaranthus just hanging down, and then I've got some David Austins just sneaking their way down through the design. So that's just showing you that idea of being able to do something with making a structure. I've got the Oasis holder in here. I have only glued in the frame here, cold glued that in. Everything else is wired and just popped in there so I can reuse these again if I'm wanting to do something else. So that's showing you how to do that one. Then if you decide, oh well, I want to do something else, actually I'll bring that up a little bit closer so you can see the flowers. It might be a bit easier. See all the flowers in there. So I hope you're all good out there. Fabulous design. Oh, thank you for that. And the other day you saw me doing a design, and I'm thinking, what happens if you've got, this is what I made the other day. I just want to pop a few more flowers in, but I haven't got anything fresh. I've got a few other artificial, preserved flowers, I should say. Not artificial, because I don't like artificial. Preserved flowers. So these are real flowers that have been preserved. You can just pop a few of these in. So I thought, well, why not? Let's pop a few of them in here, just so that you can see you can use them within your designing. So I'm just going to pop a few flowers in amongst your fresh. Very hard to tell that they're not the real thing. So I hope that helped with the wiring. Like I said, I've been getting a lot of questions on how to do wiring. So hopefully that'll get you on your way. Any more questions, keep sending them to me and I'll try and answer them where I can. And you all have just such a wonderful day out there. I'm going to go and do some work now in the workshop. Doing a bit of playing actually. So I'll be there with the boys on the other side. Have a fabulous day. Take care, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.